Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, dear viewers, we are continuing with the topic called how divine remedies affect diseases. So, let's start from a hadith from a dua, which is Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum bi rahmatika astaghith. This was a statement of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and even a dua. The meaning is on the ever living, the self subsisting, I urgently seek your mercy. So it has a special kind of effect in removing the grief. Now people worried about grief. Allah's living is an attribute that includes every type of perfect quality, while the attribute the self subsisting entails Allah's perfect actions. That is why Ya Hayyu, the ever-living, Ya Qayyum, the self-subsisting, are included in Allah's mightiest name, which if He is called by it, He will answer, and if He is begged by it, He will give. We add this in dua also, it's better. So, furthermore, perfect life is the opposite of sickness and shortcomings, since the residents of paradise do not die. They do not feel any sadness, depression, or any type of ailment. When a life has an end, it indicates the existing of shortcomings in actions and inability to sustain. Being ever living is thus suited to being ever sustaining. The ever-living does not have any shortcoming in his being. The self-subsisting Ya Hayyu is able to do everything he wills. Allah wills. This is why asking Allah by his names, Ya Hayyu, the ever-living, the Qayyum, the self-subsisting, has profound effects on removing what is the opposite of life and ability. So, related to this, the Prophet ﷺ used to ask Allah by his Lordship of Jibreel, Mikael, and Israfil alayhi salam, to guide him to that which the people have differed in concerning the truth. By his will, for the heart lives by correct guidance. The three angels mentioned in the supplication are responsible for the elements and necessities of life. For instance, Jibreel alayhi salam is responsible for delivering the revelation with which the heart lives. Mikael alayhi salam is responsible for the sustenance, which is the life of the body. Israfil alayhi salam is responsible for blowing the horn, which signals the resurrection of the souls and their being returned to their bodies. Asking Allah by His Lordship of these three angels who are responsible for all types of life has a special effect in acquiring what one seeks and longs for. So, therefore, invoking Allah's name Yahyu has a special effect by answering supplications and in afflictions. The Sunan and Abu Hatim in his Sahih narrated that Prophet ﷺ said Allah's greatest name in these two verses. What is that? Wa ilahikum ilahun wahidun la ilaha illa huwa rahmanur rahim. And your ilah is Allah is one God. La ilaha illa huwa. There is none who has the right to be worshipped but He, the most gracious and the most merciful. This is in chapter number 263 verse. And if we say this in Tirmidhi, it is commented in the Sunan and the Sahih Ibn Hibban. It is also narrated that Anas Raziallahu Ta'ala anhu said, a man once supplicated, O Allah, I ask you by your owing the praise, there is no deity worthy of worship except you. The Mannan, the Munificent, who created the heaven and the earth, O owner of the praise and honor, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum. The Prophet ﷺ said, He has asked Allah by His greatest name, which He has called by it He answers, and if He is asked, He gives. This is why the Prophet ﷺ used to say when making dua, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum. The Prophet ﷺ statement, O Allah, I seek your mercy. Do not make me rely on my own self for an instant and lead all my affairs to success. There is no deity worthy of worship except you. This supplication entails invoking Allah, who grabs all good in His hands. It also includes depending on the Allah alone, relating to all matters of Him alone, and pleading to Him the lead of the slaves matters to success. It also includes asking him not to allow the slave on relying of his own self and invoking him by mentioning his oneness. All these have a special effect in removing greed. Judge in the case of the Prophet ﷺ statement, Allah is my Lord and I associate none with him. As for the hadith that Ibn Masud narrated, O Allah, I am your slave, the son of your slave. It contains what no one book can explain of the divine knowledge and the secrets of the slavery of Allah. The hadiths include attesting to the slavery of the person and the slavery of his father and mother to Allah, and that the forelock of the slave is in the hands of Allah, and he does what he will with the slave. The slave cannot bring about benefit, harms, life, death, or resurrection without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the slave's forelock is in someone else's hand, the slave does not own anything regarding himself. Rather, he is a prisoner in the grasp, the power and authority of his owner. The Prophet ﷺ also stated, your decision on me will certainly come to pass, and your judgment on me is certainly just. The portion of the hadith contains two major aspects of unity, that is, Tawheed. First, the hadith affirms predestination and that Allah's decisions will certainly come to pass on his slaves, and that the slave can neither escape them nor fend them off. So this is it for this topic. Inshallah, a few other hadiths in there in this topic will inshallah continue. Otherwise, the video I don't want to continue because the video would be long. These supplications are really this is according to few ulama. This is Isme Azam Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum bi Rahmatika Astaghith. Please utter this in your please remember this in your dua this and make dua for me, and please few people they listen they don't subscribe, please subscribe to my channel, and also please watch this video, and inshallah see you soon in next topic. Jazakallah khair.